All right, y'all. Leland Live talking at NM5, and let's hit it. So many things today to chase around, and we've been doing our best. We're going on 3 hours now. 1 hour to go. 545-9950. If you want to get in on the show, we will put you on the radio. Let me start this hour by talking about our friends at EcoView Windows, Becky Jackson's company. Spring's a good time of the year to get a project like this done. The weather's kind of temperate. You're not dealing with one of those extreme weather days. Now, they're quick about their work. They're going to have to come out and measure and count your windows and talk to you and get you a price and a budget. But once you make this investment, it's your whole house improves. I mean, the comfort level, the 35% that you will save on your heating and cooling bills, that's real. If you want to do your own math, I think, especially if you're on the power company, you can go back and track your bills for the last 12 months. Just take that number, find out what 35% is, and that's the average. Some of you have homes that are so porous that you're actually wasting more of a percentage of your utility budget on just old school single pane windows that aren't tight and aren't right. Not to mention your system, your heating and air system has to work twice as hard. Keep up with your leaky windows. None of that makes sense. So get Becky Jackson and her crew to come over and you'll have fresh new windows that open and close and improve the value of your home, the look of your home, the feel of your home. It's just a wise investment. And there could be tax advantages to it. Look into that. Talk to your tax preparer or Becky, and they may have some tips on that. From time to time, the tax laws allow you to get some deductions or credits for doing this kind of work on your home. So y'all check all that out. It's ecoviewwindows.com, ecoviewwindows.com. Well, we're kind of vacillating back and forth between two main stories today. One is the Republicans looking like they're going to cave with Speaker Thune being the sort of sacrificial messenger that they just don't have the votes to get the SAVE Act passed. They don't care about the integrity of the election or what the hell we think. I mean, the numbers are overwhelming, and when you hear Thune come out and say things like the support for it is coming from paid influencers. Here's a guy who, by definition, because of his position, is a paid influencer. This guy gets money from other people to have thoughts and to schedule votes, and it's why he won't schedule the vote. It's a money thing. They want to control him. They don't want to take a chance that the American public might have a say in how this country is run. Because right now they control the gatekeeper Senate, and they don't want that disrupted by either party, really. They just want mouthpieces and controllable people in there. And man, it'd be scary if only citizens got to vote and they couldn't manipulate the process here or there. Anyway, that has that has really pissed off a lot of folks today on the so-called conservative side of the ledger. And then there's the Iran conflict and everything that goes with that. Trump, for his part, is trying to stay out in front of the messaging, particularly on the flow of oil and the price of oil and all that's associated with that. Oil politics tend to dominate. He just put a message out a little while ago. Let me see if I can get it pulled back up, where he just announced, and I don't know if they're going to do a ribbon cutting or something or all the details, but we're about to put the first American oil refinery back online. It's going to be the first opening of an oil and gas refinery in 50 years. Let's go back 50 years. Now, why is it taking so long? Let's go back in the hot tub time machine. Wasn't that a movie or was that? Yeah, that was a movie. Had
Was
the
a
guy
movie.
from The Office in it. Very funny. Um, we go back 50 years, and what we got are the 1970s, where we had gas lines and shortages. It was about the same time the Iranians took over and started extorting the world over this geography that they have in the Strait of Hormuz. They have extorted the world and threatened that closing repeatedly for almost that entire time. The Democrats take over, and Jimmy Carter invents something called the Department of Energy because he had a deal. He needed a PR front for the fact that we had oil shortages. We were getting blackmailed by OPEC, and there were gas lines, and the prices were through the roof by those standards. You want to talk about fuel chaos? It's one thing to pay more at the pump because we're trying to free up an oil producing region. That's one thing. That's a sacrifice. But I mean, people had to. I barely remember this because I was just starting to pay attention to the news. Some of you older folks will remember when this was happening. You couldn't fill your car up at a gas station if your tag number wasn't odd or even on a certain day. AJ, you're way too young to remember this. So if your tag ended in an odd number, you could get gas that day.
Mm-hmm.
And if it ended in an even number, you could get gas on a different day. And that's how they did it. They staggered it. People would park. They were running out of gas and would just park and wait for their turn to get gas and just camp out at a gas station. A lot of folks that remember that, and I barely remembered. I was just a kid. But I remember it being in the news all the time. So the country had been blackmailed by uh, the oil industry. And then, of course, the left and their environmental agenda kicked in. And they just made it too expensive to build a new refining capacity in this country. Even in those days, I don't know that they knew it would last 50 years, but we quit adding to that infrastructure. And that alone is part of the supply and demand equation. So let's talk about that for a minute. Um, we're talking about the supply side of this thing. And clearly, what Trump's moving us toward in his worldview is back to Reagan era economics is that if we produce as much oil as we can all over the world and we can't be blackmailed by it, we're not controlled by it, then oil will stay cheap and affordable for decades to come. And so part of that is the refining capacity. You got to be able to turn that tar that's coming out of Venezuela and the other stuff that we produce, sort of the light, sweet crude here in the United States, and it's much better and easier to convert to gas. We're sitting on more oil reserves than we ever had. Our capacity, we're actually producing more as of today per barrel than any time in our history and setting records. So the question then becomes for a lot of people, well, then why is the price going up? Because of something called the Strait of Hormuz. Because oil, and I go through this all the time, and it's a pretty elementary explanation, but I'm just trying to do it that way on purpose. Oil is a worldwide product, and it is affected the per barrel price traded on those commodity exchanges is affected by the whole world and worldwide demand and worldwide supply. Now, our role is to pump as much as we can to affect that, but we don't just we're exporters, we're net exporters. So even though we have all the oil we could use here, the price is still affected by conditions on the ground anywhere in the world. When that supply demand equation is interrupted by war or anything else, or the Iranians closing off the strait, or any of the things associated with it. Now, on that subject, and I can't wait to get more details on what Trump's talking about with the new refinery. And I hope it's on the Gulf Coast, by the way. But on that same subject, you had Charles Schumer today, which is funny as all get out to me. You had Schumer today come out and demand that Trump release some oil from this strategic reserve. Okay, let's break that down for you. One, that's stupid because how do we know? Because the Biden administration just did it. And we can hold, I think it's 760 million barrels under the ground in our different salt domes and places where we hold oil. And Biden tried to deplete it to save his own ass when the price of oil got to $120. And the thing about it, even what he released, he'll put 100 million barrels out there in the market to hold the prices down, but it only hits the world market and it is only good for about 3 or 4 days of cover. And now the reserve is gone. Here's what the reserve is for. The reserve is for emergencies. It's not for a president's political positioning and helping himself out when the country's bad. It's not even, to be honest with you, it's not even to give us relief if the prices get high. It's for actual wartime, World War II style war, where the supply has been affected by some major catastrophe, and we've got to have some in reserve so we can protect our country and power and fuel our economy. It's an emergency supply, and politicians over the years have repeatedly taken oil out of it to suit their political needs. Now, it's a tool Trump could use if the price were to spike again, but so far the Trump administration is resisting that because they don't want to do what they accuse Biden of doing and just releasing it to get the price down, keep the trouble down. We know why the price went up, and now it's coming back down, and it'll come back down eventually at the gas stations, and we'll be back in business. And by the way, when we're done, when Iranian oil is now available to the world and not under sanction, and when Venezuelan oil is available to the world and not under sanction. Not only does the free market have more oil to bring the price down, the Russians and the Chinese have to pay fair prices for black market oil. Our sanctions on these countries didn't cripple the countries; it enriched the Chinese and the Russians. It's the dumbest policy in the world. It puts a little pressure on them, but you saw what was going on with Venezuela. They had ghost tankers filling up every day, taking that stuff to China, taking it to Iran, taking it wherever they wanted to, and all that changed with one capture of one dude, and suddenly we have freed the Venezuelans. By the way, that's going swimmingly. And let me throw Cuba in the mix. I've talked about all this yesterday as well. The streets of Cuba are amazing. They've had these blackouts that are almost 2 weeks old. They keep completely going in the dark at night. Food supplies are lows. They can't keep the water running. Socialism, communism doesn't work. Never works. Never works. I don't care what kind of rainbow sprinkles you put on that turd, it's still a turd of an economic system that defies human logic. But you've got emotionally driven thieves here in our own country right now. They call themselves Democrat Socialists. And they think somebody else owes them stuff, and they're going to use the power of the government to get it from them because it's the fair thing to do, right? It'll starve people like it has everywhere else. And we've got little levels of it all over the country. Now, Cuba is failing. They've been cut off from their energy supplies. And people are out in the streets at night, as one of our callers pointed out, spray painting "God Bless America" and Trump's name on buildings, trying to start their own movement to get freedom themselves. They've seen the Venezuelans get free. The world is waiting for the Iranians to be able to come out of their houses and get back in the streets and take their government back. And Cuba wants a piece of this. And they're our closest neighbor. We have a huge exile community that would love to go home or at least visit their family and relatives. And I think we're close to seeing liberation down there too, which changes the whole dynamic of our hemisphere. A lot of good stuff is happening right now. A lot of encouraging things for humanity are happening. But there's work to be done. There are risks in it, and there's a price to be paid. We're all going to have to buckle down and get through this, and we're going to do it. Larry's in Hoover. What's up, Larry?
Yeah, we're definitely not going to do it. This country's broke. This war's costing trillions.
The war's not
And
costing trillions. The war's
meanwhile,
not
my
cost
kids
trillions.
are going to. Well, hold on one sec. Meanwhile, my kids are going to school with 40% Hispanics. So our school systems are changing, and we're worried about a war halfway around. We're worried about a country halfway around the world.
We can worry about that. We
It
can
has
walk and chew
never
gum, Larry.
never killed an American citizen on American soil.
The hell they haven't. They've had hit squads in this country for years, and they've done assassinations of their own citizens here in the United States.
Dude, you sound just like Sean Handy, man.
I don't
You
care.
really do. It's a
care.
broken record.
Hey, Larry, you get your own radio show, and you can say what you want. How about that? Call it Larry Live.
How
We'll
much
put
are
you
you,
on
are
at
you
night.
getting paid? Are you getting paid from Israel? Are you
Huge.
making money off this?
No, I've never met anybody. I know some people that are Jewish, but I don't know if I've ever met anybody from Israel.
You sound pretty Semitic, man.
Well, you can think what you want, Larry. You sound pretty ignorant. Everything that you oppose is not the Jews hiding behind a tree. Do you see a Jew behind every tree when you don't like something or public policy? And you're also a damn bigot with some of the calls that you've called in for before. You can be ignorant if you want to, but it doesn't have to affect what we talk about. And this show is 16 years old.
You think it's bigoted
predates-
not to want your school system to change?
No, I'm not for our school systems changing, and that has nothing to do with the war in Iran. The hell does it have to do with the war in Iran? The president that's in there now closed the border.
The point is we're worried about a country halfway around the world.
Yes, because for 47 years,
apart.
for 47 years, this country has threatened and held hostage the rest of the world over the strait with terrorism. They've wounded and maimed American soldiers in battlefields.
How many
all
on
over
American
the world.
soil? How many on American soil?
It doesn't matter. We haven't been invaded by them. Why does that matter?
Zero.
Is that the only test? No, there
Zero.
have been
They
people
don't
killed
affect
by
us.
Iranians
Nobody
here in
talks
America.
about Iran. How many people
They
do
tried
you
to
talk to on a daily
Larry,
basis?
they tried to kill
that talks
Donald
about
Trump.
Iran?
They had a Pakistani
No, oh my
paid
gosh,
to kill
man,
Trump.
that's ridiculous.
They just had a trial this week. They paid this guy
That's
from
the most
Pakistan
ridiculous
to
thing
kill
I've ever
Trump
heard.
days before Butler. You don't know about this? It's
I
a
think
Jewish,
I
it's a
think
Zionist
propaganda.
conspiracy.
It's lies.
Hey, we got the
Iraq
guy's.
had
I got his picture and his name and his testimony. You tell me that's made
Iraq
up?
had nuclear weapons too, right? Iraq had nuclear weapons too, right?
Nobody said Iraq had nuclear weapons, and that was a foolish move on the Bush administration. They said they had yellow cake. They had WMD. They never said they had nukes. Where did you get that?
Okay, whatever. I don't know.
Larry,
I
you
guess
should
I
read.
made that up.
Just read more, man. Don't be so emotional and think a
I'm
little
more
bit.
worried about our school
be-
systems and the fact
Well-
we're $40 trillion in debt. Trump hasn't done nothing about the debt.
I agree with that. I mean, the debt continues to go up. You're 100% right on that. And I agree that the school systems are an absolute disaster, but it's not connected to the Iran war, and it's not the Jews that are causing the school system to go bad.
Shooting $1 million missiles don't have nothing to do with the national debt.
Yeah, it costs money to take care of threats in the world. It absolutely does.
Sean Hannity 2.0.
No, my show's way better than his. He's on the same time we are, and I kick his ass in half for 16 years. It's way better than his.
Yeah, he would beat you in a fight, though.
Oh, would he? I'd beat you in a fight.
Says.
Where you at, Larry?
You better pack a lunch.
Do you want to
pack a lunch?
You want my address?
You better pack. No, I would like you if I met you face to face.
Probably so. See how you back down right there, Larry. Hey, why don't you come get a beer with me and we'll calm you down, Larry? What's your real name anyway? Nobody's named Larry your age.
I can't tell you that.
See, that's why you coward. You call it here with a fake name. Talking. I can't say that word, can I, AJ? It rhymes with twit. Larry thinks he's the first guy to try that. How'd you like this, AJ? Better pack a lunch. Oh, we'd probably get along. Man, I try to do my best. You talk about the failure of the public schools. I wonder where I guarantee you this fool went to a public school and they didn't teach history. And he's not old enough to remember what the Iranians have done to us that people my generation know about. That's a failure. That's a failure on the public education part anyway. Let's talk about your heating and air. Time to get it tuned up. Man, it is humid today. It's been stupid. And we've got a cold snap coming next week, so we'll be flipping that system on and off. Y'all, my good friends over at Douglas Cooling and Heating will get you tuned up. It's a way to get introduced to this company, so then you're in their client list. You got them on speed dial. If you do have an emergency, we get in the thick of summer, they'll come over and lickety-split be on it. They can do new installs. This is really a good time of year to get in a controlled environment, get your heating and air system swapped out. If you know yours is on its last leg, don't wait for the thing to blow up. And it will in the thick of summer if it's got something wrong with it. Do it while the air's temperate, and they can get you on the schedule, and you can do it in a controlled way, and they show up not in an emergency way. Work out the financing, get the extended warranties. Jay runs a great company. Y'all reach out to him. It's Douglas Cooling and Heating. Call Douglas.com, license number 2017181. Call Douglas.com. All right, y'all. Work Trucks bringing you the show tonight. Tiara UX. I was just downtown, rode by there today. I was down there hanging out with Craig at Birmingham Broker. They're just right around the corner, man. If you got a business or an organization that needs a commercially based truck, it's Work Trucks. They've gone to the trouble to find the best of these in the country and bring them back here and go through them 125 points and a variety of things. They keep a nice balance on the lot at all times. Box trucks, vans of all shapes and sizes, even passenger vans, cargo vans, tool body vans, flatbeds, pickup trucks of all shapes and sizes. This is a place to help you manage your fleet or your truck needs without having to stress out and do all this research and spend all that time. You got to do what you do that brings money in the door. You don't have time to become a fleet expert. Let them handle all of those needs and they'll circulate those vehicles through. When you wear one out, bring it to them. They'll take it off your hands and get you outfitted again to keep your business moving. Bubba's got a great operation down there. You got to put an X in it. TRUX, Work Trucks, LLC.com, WorkTrucksLLC.com. By the way, just to have some facts at hand from that previous caller, whatever his mama named him. The minute you Google Iranian attacks on American soil, a whole list comes up, and just on a generic Google. And the Congress produced a report just back in 2011 that pops up as well. And it literally is called Iranian Terror Operations on American Soil. It goes through the whole history of it. They have tried to they failed a lot, but they've tried to commit assassinations of public officials, foreign people on our soil, American officials they've found trouble with. And yes, they tried to kill Trump 2 times and failed both times. Yeah, it's a rogue country. They're a thuggish regime, and they're getting what comes to them. And that ain't going to change anything about the Mexicans going to school with your kids, or Guatemalans, or El Salvadorans. All right, bottom of the hour. I see all the calls. We'll get to you one at a time. Y'all hang in there. Linda Lou, and James, and Christy, and John. I just got a bottom of the hour break to hit. Leland Live, Talk 99.5, back here in a minute. Hey, y'all, Stockton Mortgage, big sponsor of the show, is ready to help if you're considering doing something with your mortgage. That may mean a cash out using your leverage, using your equity as a leverage in your home in a smart way, not that dumb credit card way. You know what I mean? Or buying your first home. If you're a veteran, man, you earn those benefits. They know all about those programs, but it can be complicated. And I'll be honest with you, you can't just get online and start Googling and searching around and trying to get answers to your specific questions of your zip code, your type home, the valuation, the interest rates, depends on the package, depends on your credit score, all these things that go into it. Let Stockton help. They've got a website set up just for this audience, savewithstockton.com. Y'all reach out to them tonight and they'll get back with you very, very quickly. They got a whole team. They just work all the time. Save with Stockton.com. All right, let's hit the phones. We'll do a lot of phone calls between now and the close and see what else we can throw at you. Linda Lou is next. What's up, Linda Lou?
So you need to avoid that last caller. I'm sorry. Some people are just uninformed and they're stupid.
Well, I like to help people, though. I like when
Unfortunately.
I see somebody that's missing facts and just wee-weed up about something dumb they saw online, try to guide them to the light.
Probably the only thing he watches is CNN,
Mm, I
which
don't
I
know.
used to do that. I'll admit it. I traveled worldwide, and the only channel you can get in other countries is CNN.
It could be,
Because
you go
that's
to
the
an
only
airport, that's all you
viewpoint you
see.
get.
I figure he picked up
So
on
it's
all those
sort of
talking points at the
weird.
Klan meeting last week. So
Yeah, probably so.
thanks, Linda Lou.
Anyway, I just want to tell you, don't take that rhetoric to heart.
I don't. I've been doing this a long time. I don't care. I forgot about it already.
All right.
I'm just thinking
Love you,
about dinner
kiddo.
right now. Thank you, Linda Lou. Hey, Jay, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to eat tonight. Linda Lou could whoop Larry's ass. James, what's up?
Hey, Leland. Man, I'm so glad I found you on YouTube. I would have to listen to you on the way home, and then
Oh,
I
yeah?
was losing you, and now I got you on YouTube.
Well, good. All
Yeah,
right,
I came
cool.
in,
Yeah.
had to go to Walmart. Huh?
Yeah, keep going,
Had
man.
to
I'm
go to
sorry.
Walmart. I came in. First thing I heard was that knucklehead Lawrence, Larry, whatever his name is. Let me explain something. I'm 65 years old. I graduated from Rogers Area Vocational Center in 1980. We had a moment of silence
Mm.
for our hostages in Iran. Okay? At my graduation. They have been doing terrorism ever since. Israel helped us with this bombing. This bombing should have happened years ago. I would say, about 46 3/4 years ago, this
100%.
should have happened.
100%.
Iran was a beautiful place. Huh? I'm sorry.
I said 100%. I mean,
Iran
those
was a
of us that
beautiful
lived through
place.
that know they've had this coming for years. We didn't have a president with the courage to take them on.
Yeah, what would we do? We would pay them money, and then they'd use that to do more terrorism. What about our embassies? Larry, you got no idea what you're talking about. Now, I do understand the thing about the illegals. I'm in Blount County now, and we had a bail bondsman get shot by an illegal just trying to pick him up. I get it. I understand all of that. And I'm tired of having to push one to speak English. I get that. I'm not being racist, but let me go a little bit further. I worked for 2 Canadians who came down here, did everything right. The years it took, the papers it took, and they started a business. And I worked for them. They hired, and they're American now. But this Iran thing, this is so far overdue. It ain't even funny, Leland.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy don't know what he's talking about. They have been doing so much, and man, brother, I'm on your side. Larry, wise up. Listen to Leland. Quit just doing your talking points from CNN or wherever.
All right, James. I appreciate the help, man.
I get it. I wish Trump would get some more on out of here. I do, but I got to tell you, Leland, I've been listening to you for years and years, and now that I get to see you on TV, You definitely got a face made for radio.
Boy,
brother.
you ain't kidding,
Just
man. I
kidding.
wish I
Love
didn't
you,
have
man.
these cameras, man. I'm not ready. This is not my thing. Thanks, buddy. All right, there's James cracking me up tonight. By the way, CarolRobinsonAL.com, friend of us, friend of all of us here at the station. She just put on X that there's an investigation going on right now down in Alabaster. Officer involved shooting, apparently. I never know which side of the equation the officer's on, whether the officer had to shoot somebody or an officer got shot. I think I would have known it by now. This is within the last hour, so we'll wait and see what the updated reporting on that is. Anytime that happens, you got to throw a pair up for everybody involved. Kathy is on a cell phone. What's up, Kathy?
You talking to Kathy?
I am talking to Kathy. What's up, girl?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Just doing a show.
Hey, my question to you, Leland, is what do you think about J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio in 2028?
You know, of late, I started saying a couple of weeks ago, Rubio is impressing me so much that I think I'd like him better at the top of the ticket. There's actually some polling out now where, in terms of favorability with the Republicans, Rubio is come even with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is pretty popular with the base, and Rubio's caught up with him because Rubio has just excelled in this role, and he's so competent and speaks so clearly. And I think he really believes what he's saying, and I love what he's been able to do. I'm fired up about the guy.
I feel exactly the same way. I love J.D. Vance, but I just think the top of the ticket should be Rubio.
You know, it's funny. Right when you were saying that, I was, checking my headlines, and the poll popped up, and it shows right now that J.D. Vance, this little Polymarket thing where they do odds of winning the nomination or actually winning the election, and Vance is at 21.1%, and Rubio has just come straight up to 13.9%. Those are low percentages, but it's a fascinating little tracked poll that keeps up with this stuff. Yeah, I really think it's a good option to have two solid people. Then there's a whole fleet of people behind them that are doing good work right now that could carry on. But, the world could change if these idiots in the Senate can't get this SAVE Act passed and the Democrats take over Congress. Trump's agenda goes to help people be demoralized. I don't know if any of them could win in 28 if they don't keep some momentum and keep some wind at their back and have some Trump coattails to run on.
Exactly. I just, me as a woman and caring about people all the time, I just wonder, would it hurt J.D. Vance's feelings? I mean, do you think he would go for it if we wanted that?
Well, if you believe the hype comes out of White House, those two very much are close friends. They were peers in the Senate, and I think they just kind of work it out. Maybe they'd run against each other in a primary. You never know what turn of events is going to change any of this. At Trump's age, let's be real, J.D. Vance could ascend to the presidency in the next. He just could. And if he does, then he'd be the sitting president, and it'd be hard for Rubio to challenge that. And it's super early to be considering all that stuff, but it feels good when they start speaking with conviction and clarity to very complicated issues in ways that some of us can relate to. You feel good knowing that you have a B team.
That's right.
Yep.
That's all I've got to say. Except you just do a great job.
Well, thank
Leland.
you, Kathy.
We love you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. We're gonna run out of time. Let's go to our boy Eddie over in Wilsonville. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, Leland.
Yo.
Hey, I'm going to drop some knowledge, man.
Okay.
Did you know that a jellyfish's mouth also functions as an anus?
I did not know this.
I guess, well, it is true. So I guess the jellyfish is the politicians of the sea.
100%. My favorite politician joke, I think I heard somebody in the 90s said this. I used to use it in speeches. AJ, the word politics, if you break the word down, it comes from poly, which means many, and ticks, which are blood-sucking little critters. So it's many blood-sucking critters. Thank you, AJ. Dale is on a cell phone. What's up, Dale?
Okay, that was fast.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, I turned my radio station to a Christian, and it landed on a Christian station.
Hmm.
And they got to talking about who was at fault for the SAVE Act not getting passed, and now they put it on the Republicans. On John Thune or something. Okay, I turn it to another station, NPR or something. They put it on the Republicans. I turn it to my station, the talk radio, and it's what is keeping it from being passed? Do you know? Do we have the facts?
Yes. Well, I'll try to simplify it as much as I can because the people that don't want it to pass try to make it sound complicated. The Senate, okay, filibusters are just when one side wants to object to something being passed. And by law, it only needs a majority of the Senate. So you only need 51 votes. But when you add a filibuster, in order to break the filibuster, you have to have 60 votes to stop the filibuster, right? In the old days
Okay.
of a filibuster, you used to have to go and argue in the microphone and sustain that argument for hours on end. And it was a battle of wills, and they could keep talking to delay a vote. But eventually that would break, wills would break, they'd take the vote. The Republicans have the vote to pass it right now based on some head counts.
Okay.
But the Senate adopted a
Hmm.
lazy tradition about, I think it was 25 years ago, where they went to it's instead of a talking filibuster where you stand there and talk and physically have to do the work, they went to the sort of easy button system where an opponent can just declare a filibuster and then it changes the vote total to 60, which means nothing passes the Senate unless you get 60 votes. And Republicans don't have 60 votes. They don't have the Democrats. But they could run clean over the Democrats right now, which the Democrats tried to do when they controlled the Senate just 2 years ago. They tried to get rid of the whole filibuster and either force them to stand there and debate or just get rid of the filibuster and run them over. But they don't have any fight in them, and they're too damn lazy to stand there and man the Senate and show up in shifts and guard the bill and fight for the bill. So they're just going to throw their hands up and say, well, we don't have a supermajority, so it can't pass, which is true of everything that comes in front of that Senate, including the
Hmm.
Homeland Security bill. So they're caving on everything,
Okay.
so they think they can get off on blaming the Democrats because they don't have 60 votes. And people are seeing right
Okay.
past that now.
I appreciate you breaking that down for me. Do you know the possibilities of what's going to happen? I mean,
Yeah, it's
there's
not going
got
to
to
happen.
be few.
The establishment money crowd does not want this thing passed. It threatens their control of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It returns too much power to us if we can control our own elections. And they're just not, I don't think they're ever going to do it. I'd be stunned if they do it. We'd have to almost be
Okay.
down there with pitchforks and torches to get them to pay attention to us. And then they'd
My
call that
goodness.
an
Well,
insurrection
thank
and
you.
go round everybody up. Thanks,
Thank you
Dale.
so much.
All right, Dale.
Bye bye.
I hate to just spread cynicism, but I got no sunshine right now on this subject. John Thune was a huge mistake. He is not a fighter. He was never going to be a fighter, and he is letting this country down. And the Republicans will lose one of the chambers in the midterms after this is over. They're going to lose. I've said it so many times. I'll say it one more time. One, because the Democrats can keep lying and cheating at the polls, stealing elections. And two, and letting everybody from all over the world vote. And two, because they're gonna piss off the base they need. These add-on voters that Trump has brought to the party that hate Republicans, but they have to vote for him. They're staying home. They don't buy it anymore. They're sick of it. They're just gonna stay home. Let it burn. That's going to happen. I'm predicting it. We've seen it happen here in our own state before. I'll give you an example maybe later or tomorrow. All right, man, I got to get a break in here. Allen and Company also bringing you the show tonight. That is the Thompson family. It's called Allen and Company because he's the main man there and the custom jeweler, but he's got his whole family in there with him. I think there are 3 generations of them anytime you go in the store. And when you've got a family business that really takes a lot of pride in opening that door every day and taking care of folks that walk in and giving them that kind of personal service. By the way, diamond prices are the same in every store anywhere. The whole industry runs on basically a consignment kind of setup. And what you get there is that personal detail, that low pressure environment. So you can think and budget and figure it out. Fellas, they've got financing, great gift giving ideas. And mostly it's the custom work, both on original pieces or just repairs and broken chains. And sometimes you got to get things cleaned or resized. They'll handle that for you. Keep everything right there in their shop. in their vault, do the work themselves, and get it right back to you. It's a good neighborly family business, and that's who I like to work with nowadays. It's Allen and Company in Vestavia, centrally located for most folks around town. Allen and Company. Back here in a minute. All right, it's 5:52. Leland Live, talking to M5. Y'all bringing it back in, and let's see what else we can get done on the way out the door. We're about out of time. Possible stormy weather tomorrow night. We'll have updates on that tomorrow. Mostly this is going to be a West Alabama thing. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Southern Skies Dermatology bringing you the show tonight, too. I can't wait for them to let me tell you where the new location is. I know the general area don't even have the address, but they're going to open up a new location. It's going to be a lot more convenient for some parts of town. The business is growing because people are heeding the warnings and going to get checked and saving their own lives. I mean, early detection for all cancers is really key, and skin cancer is so simple to solve if you catch it early, but you can wait too late and it becomes way more serious, especially if it spreads or travels internally. And that is a tough, tough battle to have. Don't put yourself through that and drag somebody with you. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. Great locations all around. Dr. Mario is a Mohs expert. That is exactly the kind of procedure you want to use to get this kind of work done. It is SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. Real quick, hat tip to Channel 6 and one of their reporters, Jonathan Hardison, posting this. this afternoon that apparently Garland Gudger, who of course runs the Senate down there for the Republicans, um, the power company appears to be back at it again, trying to change the PSC. Now, y'all remember the fiasco that happened when they introduced a bill to completely change Public Service Commission to an appointed body. People just didn't like it. This is the same month they're getting $400 and $500 power bills, and now there's this effort to get control. And the power company denied they were directly involved until a phone call leaked of one of their lobbyists, discussing the deal ahead of the bill being dropped. Then the whole thing blew up. They had to pull the bill from embarrassment. The lobbyist wound up getting fired, one of the Alabama Power Company lobbyists. And some people thought the issue was dead for the session. Oh, no, my friend. They get what they want down there, and they own a lot of those folks. And here's what we think is the new proposal is to change the commission to 7 members and ban a rate increase for 3 years and give the appointing authority to whoever the governor is, which is about to be Tommy Tuberville. The governor gets to appoint 4 new members to the PSC, and then the public gets to have their measly 3 members. Why does the governor get more than we do? You know why? Anybody? Class, can y'all count? Can we do some math? A 4-3 vote means the establishment gets what they want with the PSC, right? Why would you want it this way? Because then the governor, it's easier to control a governor than 3 different races of some yahoos that pop up and want to be on the PSC in a body that most people don't know what it does, and races a lot of folks would be ignoring. Power company and all the utilities are not supposed to have any direct say in any of that. But hey, if you got your hooks in the governor, then you can get the nominees you want. And then you got your 4-3 majority, every single thing you want. And then it's everybody grab your ankles, rate increase city. The public's going to be cynical about this. They're back at it. And you think Garland Gudger would have learned when he got embarrassed over that Smith Lake deal, when the big wigs tried to shove a gigantic resort on the quaintness of Smith Lake. People up there got fired up. They got out their torches and pitchforks, and that ended that bill. They actually passed the damn thing with Jabbo Wagner and Gudger running it through, and then came in. First thing they did was repeal it because something was about to burn down. And then they go do this after the fiasco just weeks ago. They assume people aren't paying attention. I don't know. Maybe the bill has some merit. They'll have to convince me, though. I don't like it. Rick's in McCalla. What's up, Rick?
Hey, thank y'all for putting the C in science.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate what y'all do every day. I really do.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, I was thinking about this nation building business. What made this nation so great? It was its founding. All of our laws, all of our morals, and all of our customs, and our system of government, and everything hinges on the Word of God and Christianity. And if any man builds on any other foundation other than that which has been laid, I say the word of cursing. And I don't like cursing. But there's something bad wrong with people. If they hate the Bible and they hate the truth and they hate the Word of God, they want to change it and twist it to fit a certain narrative. There's something bad with this Tallarico or whatever his name is. And even Nancy Pelosi out there, just look at them, how they're using the Word of God.
Yeah, this Tallarico guy is a pervert. I mean, he is creepy. Thanks, Rick. I got to run, though. I'm running out of time. This dude's creepy. Wait till y'all get this 36-year-old, never been married. He's obsessed with trans children. And he's got all these weird viewpoints about what the Bible says. He ain't the first one. Hey, John, I'm going to come to you in a minute. Let me get Gutter Cap in here. Y'all, Chris and them have that sale going through the spring for the superior gutter cap system in all of the world, all of planet Earth. It's that all aluminum metal one-piece system that is patented. They come out, clean your gutters, straighten your gutters, fix the flow, put this on there, and you're done with all that mess that gets in your gutters every year. You're not on ladders. You're not paying somebody to get on the ladder. The gutters work. They have a super important job. Y'all, this is the system you want on your home. GutterCapBirmingham.com. GutterCapBirmingham.com. They got a phone number too. 823-2212. Of course, that's a 205. 823-2212. Gutter Cap Birmingham. Y'all reach out to them and get this done. You'll appreciate the 45% off too. John, I'm gonna let you have the last word. You got 30 seconds.
Leland, I love you. Your show is awesome. AJ's awesome. Do you have any liberal friends?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got
I
liberal
don't know
family
how.
members, man.
Well, you're very. I don't know. You just the way you held yourself against that Larry guy. When he's ready to pack the lunch, I'm there with your army, and
I don't
we'll
need you.
take
Well,
him on.
I don't even need a snack for that. I don't even need a sip of water, man. AJ, I may not even break a sweat. Thank you, John. It's all in good fun. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Goodbye, AJ.